If you're a busy adult, hear me out, because I've noticed a strange pattern among people my age. We'll talk openly about the shows we're binging, the books we're reading, or even the DIY projects that took up our entire weekend. But when it comes to the 3 hours we spent last night playing our favorite games, we are too shy to talk about it. There's this lingering sense of embarrassment about being an adult gamer. It's the hidden hobby almost. Even now, when gaming is bigger than movies and music combined, there's still this internal voice asking, is this a waste of time? Today, I want to talk about why we're still hiding our gaming hobby and why it's time to stop treating our 9 p.m. reset like a guilty secret. The root of the embarrassment usually comes down to one thing: productivity. We live in a culture that demands a return on investment for every minute of our day. If you spend 4 hours building a birdhouse, you have a birdhouse. If you spend 4 hours playing Warcraft 3, what do you have? And what do you have to show for it? So when people ask you, oh, what did you do in the weekend? If you spent the weekend doing some gardening or, building birdhouse or walking the dog or whatever the case may be, then they seem normal and productive. So you have no qualms about talking about those. But when it's about playing games, even though playing games was the one activity that you enjoyed the most during that weekend, you are somehow reluctant to talk about it openly. But really, this is a narrow way to look at a human life, adult life. We don't ask what the return of investment of when you talk about watching movies or reading a book or just listening to some music to chill out. Why do we treat gaming different? We don't always ask about the output. We don't ask about the output of a good conversation that you've had with your friends over the night. For a busy professional, the value of gaming isn't in the digital loot. It's in the mental defragmentation. It's the 1 hour or 2 hours where you aren't a manager, a parent, or a problem solver for someone else. You're just a player. And yet, we still feel the need to justify it. And I'm saying, why? It's interesting because what's ironic is that society generally accepts passive consumption, like watching 6 episodes of a sitcom, binging watching, right? And they get your social tick, they are socially okay. And they are socially okay relaxing activity that you can take. But the moment you engage your brain in an active logical challenge in a game, it's labeled a distraction or it's labeled something of a waste of a time. Not logical. I don't get it. Think about the mental work you do in a game. You're analyzing systems, you're managing resources, you're practicing persistence, and sure, you're also, making use of the reflexes that you've got or however little you've got left in you. These are high-level cognitive functions, and actually, we are a lot more engaged playing games. When we are working our brains more, we are working our muscles more, we are thinking more, and we are actually experiencing more. Because if you look at the recent titles, all these AAA games that give you real movie-like or even better than movie-like experiences that really tug at your heartstrings. People do cry playing games. People do laugh out loud playing games. So I find it interesting how we are more comfortable telling a coworker that we turned our brains off in front of the TV than telling them we engaged our brain in a game. The embarrassment comes from an old school idea that play is only for children. I think there's still that sort of thinking going around. But for an adult, play is actually one of the most effective ways to manage stress and keep your mind sharp. I find it just binge watching and just going to sleep. I wake up the next morning with a little headache because I guess I haven't let the steam off enough the previous night, if you know what I mean. If you're hiding your hobby because you're worried about being judged, yeah, I can relate because I always think that too. But really, you're letting someone else's outdated metrics define your joy. I keep telling this myself. I should not let anyone else tell me what I can and can't do in my free time. I've realized that the 9 p.m. window for me is the most honest part of my day. That's the time that I sit down by myself in front of my computer or console in my room, and the distractions are minimal. There's no parenting to be done. There are no chores to be done anymore. So from 9 p.m. till say 11 p.m. where I need to go to sleep, that's my own time. It's where I choose to go when the world finally stops asking things of me. And I think I shouldn't be embarrassed for having my time. When we stop being embarrassed, we make a better use of our time. We start being more intentional with our time. We stop mindless playing just to kill time and feeling guilty. And we really start playing games that actually respect our intelligence. Once you own it, the guilt disappears. You aren't wasting time. You've always known that you are not wasting time. It's just that you felt a little bit shy or ashamed when you try to justify your time. You're investing in your own mental health, and that's a good thing. And I just come back to this argument again and again. Why should we justify what we do in our free time? Why should we feel ashamed? Why should we just keep to the old notion of, oh yeah, games are for children only? So at the end of the day, your hobbies and my hobbies don't really need to produce a physical object to be valid. They don't really need to make others' lives any better to be valid, right? They just need to produce a better version of you. One that's more relaxed, more focused, and ready for the next day. So, the next time someone asks what you did last night, don't just say, oh, nothing, I just chilled out. Tell them about the world you explored, or the logic you mastered, or the challenge that you've overcome in a game. Maybe introduce them to some famous game series that you know of and you love. Because there's real value in the games we play, and it's time we started acting like it. And who knows, the person that you were too shy to talk about gaming might be another busy adult, harboring the secret hobby. When you two click, you click. That's when you talk. That's when you talk about your gaming. That's when you have your, gaming mate at work. So let's have a yarn in the comments. Do you find yourself downplaying your gaming to friends or colleagues? Or have you reached a point where you are fully out as an adult gamer? I'd love to hear how you handle the embarrassment factor. Because I'm telling you all this, but that embarrassment factor is still a part of me. And I still, to this day, struggle to be really open about my gaming hobby to total strangers or my work colleagues. Maybe to people who I consider friends, just a little bit more than acquaintances. I'm more open. Yes, I do talk about gaming to people that I hang out with, but not at work, not at, social invites. But I shouldn't really think this way. And I'm telling you, you shouldn't really think that way either. So let's really think about this and let's talk about this in the chat. I'll see you in the next window. Bye for now.